Thanks for joining us today. We're going to be working on a green soup. It's a blended soup. And this one's great for hormonal balance. It was given to us at the studio by our health coach, Jessica Wagner. So the ingredients we'll be using today, our base will be garlic and onions, and we'll saute those in coconut oil, and mushrooms. And that'll be our base. That's where we'll get started, and we'll saute those. And to that, we'll add our spices, our sea salt, pepper, and of course cumin for lots of great flavor. And then we'll add in oregano and also bay leaves for our seasonings today. And once we bring that to a boil, we'll add in some protein. And today I've chosen organic green peas and organic garbanzo beans. Whenever you can make those fresh from dry start, that's great. And if not, you can use a canned organic garbanzo bean. And I recommend that you look for a good brand. Eden is a good brand and uses the cans that don't use any BPA in the linings. And we'll finish our soup today with chard I've selected for our green, and then cilantro. And then as always at the end, we'll add a little bit of acidity, and I'll finish today with lime. So next we'll get started and put everything together. So now we'll put everything together. I already have the coconut oil softened and have it warming in the pan, and to that we'll add the onions and the garlic. And normally I would just give that a few minutes to marry on its own before adding the mushrooms, but today I'm just going to go ahead and put it all in together. Next I'll add some of the initial spices. We'll put the pepper in, and again, that's going to be your choice as to whether you want to go with the fine or the coarse. You can tell I'm an Italian cook because I don't measure anything. A lot of this is to taste. This is a product brand called Real Sea Salt. We can get that at our local organic markets. And this is pretty liberal to taste. There's a lot of value in good salt. And we'll start with that. And next, we'll marry this together. So we're ready now to add the water. The mushrooms and the onions and the garlic have sauteed and reduced down. Have this nice little starter broth going. And what we'll do is add water. And again, like our green blended soup that we did last week, I'll just bring some water in. We'll cover our vegetables. And for this size pan, you really want to get it pretty close to the top so that you've got enough, for however many people you're feeding. And then our spices that we're going to add today are oregano. If you have fresh oregano, much better choice. But I didn't have access to any fresh organic oregano this week. And then the cumin, again, it's to taste. I'm pretty liberal with it because I really like it. But you can do that to taste. And today I've selected bay leaves, again, organic bay leaves. I try to get the biggest ones that I can because they're easier to fish out later. And then when we come back, we'll let this boil bring it to a boil for a good 10 minutes or so, just to blend all of the spices and everything together so we can get ready to add our protein in. So now that we've got everything blended well, we'll go ahead and add our protein in. So we'll bring the beans in, then we'll add our peas. You can substitute these for snap peas if you like them. You can even use a black bean. So don't feel rigid about this. Use your creativity and change it up. And we'll let this boil for about 5 minutes, and our last step will be to add the greens. We're ready to finish things up. We have everything sauteed. All of our protein, green beans and garbanzo beans are softened. All of the spices have blended in, and now we're just going to finish off the rest of the dish with the greens. Today I've chosen the cilantro, so we'll put that in. And again, if you like parsley better, you can do that. And this is the Swiss chard chopped up. And then we'll finish it with a lime, and this is to taste. Grab your colander and just bring a lime to it. And this gives it a nice finish. It just gives it a really, really nice ending. And you might get lucky enough to not have any of the seeds. And then we'll finish it with just a little bit of sea salt. And if you wanted to, you could saute that on the stove for a few more moments, but there's a lot of benefit to having the raw greens in at the end. I like to have local spring onions. I didn't have any today. That would be the third green I would put in, the onions, and of course the green of the onions. And we'll come back in a moment and finish up and blend it right in the Vitamix. And all we have left to do now is to blend it. So I'm just going to pour my soup right into the Vitamix. And then we'll take the spoon and just get the rest of our protein and our greens right in. And if you've measured right, it'll just about fill your Vitamix. And I'll take it right now over to the unit, and we'll place that on top. Get your lid. Remember to always secure the outside of the lid. And I'll blend this on from 0 to 10 quickly and then on high. And you can blend it for as long as you like. You can have it pure liquid or you can have just a little bit of texture in it. We're all done. What I like to do is give it some time and let it cool, and then what I'll do is store that in a container, and that way you'll have it for a couple of days, and you can serve it really for any meal. I like to have it for breakfast sometimes, and lunch. If I'm on the go, I'll fill a thermos up and just take it, and you've got all that nutrition in there. The good coconut oil base, the garlic, the onions, all your good seasoning and some spices. You've got your greens in there, and 2 good proteins. So it's definitely a hearty meal. It definitely will fill you up and keep you sustained with some beautiful food. All right, we look forward to you joining us again. Next time we get together, we'll be doing some local hummuses and a jalapeno onion blend.